And I just went and started knocking doors. I didn't have a website. I didn't have any reviews. I knew that I just wanted to help people. And I felt like solar was the path that I could take to really make a difference. So I sold my first few couple jobs, and I was subbing them out to a local installer. And I realized that in doing that, I was giving away all of the profit, giving away all of the quality control, and really left the customer experience up to the contractor, which had no contact with the customer. So I realized that, hey, I've got to figure out how to do this on my own. So in the next 2 months, I sold 3 really big projects out on the beach, multi-million-dollar waterfront properties. And those jobs bankrolled me enough to where I could go hire a full-time install crew. Even if I didn't have jobs every week, I could just float their payroll until we did, and it started to pick up. And with each new job, we would get more referrals because it was me specifically working with the customer, holding their hand through the process, really taking the time and the care to give them the value that they deserve for the money that they're spending. And from that, I was able to get referrals. So as time went on, I eventually brought on some partnership in January of 2018. I sold 75% of the company, and we're all equal partners today, 25, 25, 25, 25. In 2017, I did about $800,000 in revenue. Then when the partnership took place, 2018, we jumped up to almost $9 million.
Wow.
And then 2019, we did $16 million. 2020, we did $32 million. 2021, we did $54 million. And then last year, we did $65 million in revenue.
So 3 partners, huge jumps in revenue. Would you say a lot of people in this industry, in construction in general, they're very skeptical about mentors, very skeptical about partners. Even hiring people, bringing help, can't do it alone. You're living proof that you can go to $65 million in revenue in a couple of years with the right help. Give me a little bit more details on what did your partners brought to the table. Was it what kind of knowledge they have? Because my understanding, they also were not from this industry per se, but they have skills that you did not have. How did they help you to achieve what you achieve? And would you be able to do it without them?
Very good question. And the short answer is no. I think that all things that are amazing and great are always done in team. Nothing is ever really done alone. You have an incredible team here. Without them, you wouldn't be producing the incredible content you're creating right now, right? So when I first started Solar Bear, I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to get a second job for a company called SecureNet Technologies. And we sold software for home automation and home security. And I would go and train these guys in Tampa, this company called Safe Home. And what we would do is we would show them how to use the app where they could control their lights, their locks, their thermostat, their garage door, and their security system. While I was there training them, I would be telling them about my solar business on the side. And, you know, they were intrigued, but it wasn't their realm, right? They were home security, home automation. And in June of 2017, I got fired from the software company because they found out I was running my solar business on the side. And a couple months later, I get a call from who is my now partner, John Keith. He's like, "Hey, Blake, how you doing? My aunt in Bradenton, she really needs some solar. Could you give her a call?" I said, "Sure, no problem." And then he started asking me all these questions. And he's like, "Listen, you know, we picked up on your passion and your enthusiasm for what you're doing, and we're looking to sell our business, and we'd like to join you in your venture with solar." So over the next few months, we worked out an operating agreement. And like you said a few moments ago, it is difficult bringing on partners. It's difficult hiring employees, right? Because you have a vision, you want it to go one way, and you hear horror stories about partnerships going bad, about people taking advantage of a younger entrepreneur who've maybe been in business a lot longer. And with their security company, they were in 16 different states. They'd done over $100 million in revenue over 10 years. So they had the skill set to scale, to run operations in multiple territories. And 2 of them had been business partners for 18 years. So that was something that I picked up on, that if they could be in business together for 18 years and have success, you know, nothing is ever smooth. There's always hurdles and bumps and trials and tribulations that you go through. But if you can make it through that and still remain partners, which is, they're fragile. Relationships are fragile. And if I saw that and I was like, wow, you know, maybe these are the guys that I want to be partnered with. And then they brought in one more guy. His name's Mark Tassoni. an incredible mentor to me. He's the oldest of our partners. He's a life coach. He just co-authored the book, The Closer's 5 with Ben Gay, a phenomenal sales guy. And Mark is a great family Christian man like myself, and he just helps the company walk a straight and narrow path. He's the we call him the integrator, because he comes in and he tells you direct. And if you're off the system, if you're doing something wrong, he's going to bring you back and show you how to do it right without beating you up, right? So before I signed the operating agreement, I was very distraught. I was about to sell 75% of my company. I was about to give up control. I was literally in tears talking to my wife. You know, is this the right decision?
Wow.
So I prayed on it, I meditated on it, and you know, everything pointed to go. And we pulled the trigger, and to this day, I am so grateful for all of them, because I have evolved an incredible amount from being around guys who had that experience, who've done it the right way, who've raised their families, who aren't out there partying and, you know, chasing women and doing all the things that you can do when you reach the level of income that these guys were at. And I was very motivated by that. In my younger days, I was a womanizer. I was a crazy party man. I was in nightclubs, so it comes with the environment, right?
Of course.
And you know, now having a family and wanting to walk that straight and narrow path, these guys were great role models for me. So
I want to take a quick break, and I want you guys to think about it. For those who are skeptical and for those who wants to remain in control, think about what happened here in his story. He's 25% business owner. Would you rather be 100% business owner of whatever you have? Let's say you're around $5 million business. They do 60, which means 25% is about $15 million. So his portion, if you will, he's responsible for $15 million, and he still have 3 more partners. Together, they do 60. So many people want to be fully in control, and they're only able to grow to 3, 4, 5 million, never past 10, never past 50, and many stop there. You know, 15 million is great if you're 100% owner, but think about being 25% of 60, and I feel like they're just getting started. I mean, 5 years in business, 6 years in business, still have ways to go. What do you think? Do you have a goal? How big do you want to guys take it?
You know, with the things that we're building out now, we believe that we can create it to be $1 billion company. There are other assets that we're building out on the backside, and we believe that where the industry is going, it's going to call for great contractors that do great work, that don't subcontract, that take care of their people, their employees, and their customers, have a great culture, and don't ever lose sight of that. I think when you're by yourself, you reach a level of complexity that you really can't get past alone. And bringing on partnerships allows you to break through that glass barrier, that level of complexity that you might be hitting when you're by yourself. Not only that, it brings in fresh ideas. It brings in fresh perspectives, right? We all have an ego that we're trying to kill. We all have internal sabotage that we're not even aware of. And when you have other perceptions in it, sometimes it brings the clarity a lot faster, excuse me. I think it's the collective ideas that make us great, not anyone's individual idea, right? And I never just have one idea and it's exactly my idea that goes forward. I'll put my idea on the table, and then we'll all talk about it, and we'll evolve it and make it the absolute best that it can possibly be, overturning every stone. And it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult to do that when you're by yourself.